We're listening to DFCRadio.com.
Hey there, gentle listeners. This is your buddy, Herb the Wizard, and I'll be ready in just a minute. Just let me find it on the dial. Everything we crave will be inside. Everything we, me and you, and lots of goodies there. If I want, I can pull you by your hair. Well, there we go. This is it. Get ready. We're going to start the show. Hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, Herb the Wizard, and I'm here to tell you to welcome you to this our 70th episode of the Grubby Cup Show, and thank you very much for tuning in. And now it's time to listen to a little bit of the wonderful and delightful Kelly Erickson, currently playing with Teaser.
You got some seeds to grow, he'll keep you in the know. Variety to claim, so baby, what's his name? He's the man to know. He'll make your garden grow. Grubby Cup's his name. He's the man who'll make a change.
Hello there, gentle listeners. This is your roving bard, Leaf Malone, reporting on the Grow with Grubby Cup show, brought to you by DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. And here they are, the buds of the circle table. Oh, see, it is I, Sancho Panza. Good evening. I'm Alfred the Dungeon Keeper. Hi there, friends. This is the Irreverent Joe, and I'm Herb the Wizard. Psst, it's me, Vinny the Viper, the Sheriff of Riding Puck. And I am your host, the Green Knight, Grubby Cup Stash. Thank you for joining us here on the Grow with Grubby Cup show. Brought to you by the good folks over at DFZ Radio at dfzradio.com. Oh, hey, Grubby. Is there any events coming up before maybe too long? Well, yeah, there are, Herb. And in fact, on 6/20 in Maine, the Urban Garden Center in Brewer is having a Customer Appreciation Day. On 6/20 in Michigan, UPC Growers Cup and Conference will be going on. I'll be attending that one, and I'm really looking forward to it. On 7/26, the Los Angeles Convention Center will be having Maxim Yields Indoor Garden Expo. On 9/12 in Maine, Indoor Garden Center Topsham will be having Customer Appreciation Day. And on 9/26 in California, the Soil King will be having their Tomato Fiesta. That's one I've heard good things about, and I'd like to swing by there. I may have to try to figure that one out. Anyway, those are the next 5 or so events coming up. If you're a hydro shop, or if you're in the hydro industry and you have an upcoming Customer Appreciation Day party, whatever, that folks may want to know about, please let me know. You can reach me on Facebook under Grubby Cup. You can reach me under grubbycup.com, or you can reach me care of this station. Hello there, Mr. and Mrs. Generator and all the ships at sea. Now it's time for... The Grubby Cup is a portion of our program where we take questions from you, the general listeners, and read them here on air. Please keep in mind that that plant that shall not be named shall continue not to be named, so please don't include it in your letters. Oh, well, hey, Grubby, I have a letter for you. The letter, it reads, Dear Grubby Cup, what's your cat eye on? Oh, gee, Grubby, that's kind of interesting. I didn't even know cats could be ions, but cat ion, and why do we care? And the letter is signed Chris with a K, as opposed to like Jeff with a J, who's actually a really cool kind of guy, especially when he's got a J. Well, first, let me speak a minute about what it is, or what cations are. In a molecule, if it has the same number of protons as it does electrons, then it's in balance and it has a neutral charge. If it has more electrons than protons, it'll have a negative charge to it, and if it has more protons than electrons, then it'll have a positive charge to it. And the reason that this is important is because just like with magnets, a positive ion will be attracted to a negative ion, and so opposites attract, and like charges will repel each other. So a positive and a positive will push away from each other, and a negative will push away from each other, but a positive and a negative will be attracted to each other. Just like two ends of a magnet and that. If it has a negative overall charge, then it's called an anion. And if it has a positive overall charge, then it's called a cation. Oh, gee, Grubby, so if it's a pro, then it's a cat, and if it's an ion, then it's a negative one. Yeah, basically. And the reason that this is important is because a lot of the salts in that are used in fertilizers, for example, calcium nitrate, is formed from the cation, what did I just say? Calcium and the anion nitrate. So, since one's a positive and one's a negative, they are attracted to each other. Well, gee, Grubby, that kind of makes sense, because you just said all that stuff where opposites attract and that, so it makes sense, and, you don't need to take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, or whatever. Anyway, part of the reason that these charges are important are that then when you add water to them, water's pretty much miracle stuff. It's really has a lot of really cool properties. One of the cool properties is that in a water molecule, which is 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen, half-ish of the water molecule is positive, one end is positive, and the other end is negative. And part of what makes water such a great solvent is that if you take our little molecule of calcium nitrate, which is the cation and the anion together, and you put it in water, the negative sides of the water molecules will be attracted to the positive cations. And then the reverse is true with the anions. Since the anions are negative, they'll attract the positive sides of the water. And what this will do then is this will exert some force on it and some pressure, which will break the bond between the calcium and the nitrate and surround each with the little water molecules. And this is how water breaks up and dissolves salt. Well, gee, Grubby, I always knew that salt, you could mix up more salts and water and then they would dissolve, but it would make sense then that this is why.
Now, part of the reason that you never want to mix full strength nutrients from different bottles together is that in order for the salts to dissolve into the water, that tearing apart by the water molecules have to take place. And the reason it can take place is because the force that's connecting, that's dissolving it is stronger than the force that's holding it together. If you mix nutrients full strength, there are other things, other bonds that can occur. And the problem with this is that if it bonds to something from another nutrient bottle instead of to the water, then it will precipitate or it will fall out of the solution, which basically means it'll sink to the bottom, and the plant won't be able to get to it because it's not soluble anymore, and basically it becomes a waste of nutrient. So that's why whenever you're mixing up a batch of nutrients, you want to mix in from bottle A and then mix in from bottle B, etc. in that. Unless you happen to know exactly what's in the bottle and that it's not going to react. For the same token, when you pour it and you mix in your nutrient solution, give whatever you're measuring with a little rinse while you do it. Again, so you don't have some full strength from from bottle A coming into contact with full strength from bottle B. Again, because that can cause it not to bond to the water in preference to bonding from something from the other bottle, and that can it's a waste.
Oh, gee, Grubby, that makes sense, because sometimes while making magical potions, you have to do stuff in the right order, because if you don't do it in the right order, then stuff can go wrong, and then it doesn't work as good. Kind of like, if you're going to make some macaroni and cheese, you have to add the water before you boil it, because if you try to boil the noodles without the water, then you just get brown crunchy noodles, and then if you pour the water, it doesn't work. Trust me on this. I tried it that way. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, if you push it, same type thing. Anyway, where cation becomes important when you're talking about things like soil media is that organic material in that will tend to attract the cations, because things like clay in that have a natural negative charge, and they will attract it, which then becomes like the storage bank that the roots can get to. And this is something that takes place in a soil type environment. In a more hydroponic environment, mostly what you're relying on there is just the reintroduction of nutrients to the root mass, and you don't have the same sort of buffer, the same sort of bank account of nutrients, so to speak, that you'll wind up with if you're using a more organic media.
Oh, gee, Grubby, doesn't that make sense? Because if there's more of one or the other, then they will attract one or the other. That makes sense, because like you said, the opposites attract.
And that's probably way more information than what you were looking for. And I think we're coming up on time for a commercial.
Well, yeah, Grubby, it's time to pay some bills and make some poker shells.
And now for a few words from our sponsors. The Grow with Grubby Cup show is brought to you in part by
Botanicare. We've been doing some talking lately, and they seem like a really nice group of folks. And the Soil King. The Tomato Fiesta is coming up. I'm sure I'll get you more information about it. It sounds like a hoot. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
We're listening to DFC Radio.
Hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, the Wizard, and I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays is the Twofer. You get a Girl in the Garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup Show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
Botanicare is proud to introduce a revolutionary three-part nutrient system that is the culmination of over 15 years of research and development. The Kind Plant Nutrient System. Designed by leading plant physiologists, this is the most versatile, effective, yet easy-to-use plant nutrient system ever created. It all starts with Kind Base. Kind Base contains nitrogen and calcium, but no trace minerals, magnesium, or sulfur. By placing those nutrients in the Grow and Bloom formulas, you have greater control over how your plants grow in your medium of choice. Using coco coir or RO water, just add more base to increase calcium levels. Growing in clay pebbles or rock wool, then just reduce the amount of base to ensure the proper calcium level. It's that easy. Kind Grow contains trace minerals and a proprietary blend of all natural ingredients to help maximize root growth, reduce internodal spacing, and create a lush canopy. Kind Bloom was formulated with the optimum phosphorus to potassium ratio. Your plants will have healthy branch and stalk development, accelerated flower set, and increased yields. Kind Bloom also contains magnesium to help improve photosynthetic efficiency, which is critical in accelerated growth environments. To put it more simply, Botanicare's Kind nutrient system is the only nutrient system that is fully customizable to your kind of plants and medium. Botanicare Kind Base, Grow, and Bloom. Fully customizable. Any plant, any medium. For more information, go to botanicare.com. Botanicare Kind. Make it your kind.
You're listening to DFZRadio.com.
Booyah!
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on the DFZ Radio Network at dfzradio.com.
Hello, gentle listeners and all the ships at sea. This is your wandering bard, Leaf Malone, and now it's time for Meals and Munchies.
Well, gee whiz, your Grubby Cup, I'm feeling kind of hungry. So what are we making today?
Well, today we're going to do an improvised dish. And this one, it's a cornbread recipe for when the oven's busy and when you don't have room in the oven, whatever else, but you're, it's a cornbread scramble. And basically just mix up the cornbread like you would normally. And then I like to add a can of corn to it. You can either add cream corn or you can add whole kernel corn, depending on, what you enjoy as a finished product. and then just heat a skillet. I have a cast iron skillet that I like to use for such things, and toss in a little bit of butter, and then over a medium-low heat, pour the batter in, and then gently stir it occasionally, and basically treat it like you would scrambled eggs. You have to be gentle with it, or you just wind up with crumbs. But what you basically do is you allow the bottom layer to set, and then take a fork or what have you and stir it until you kind of, cook it until it's done. You're better off cooking it under a, if you're going to air on the cool side, and don't overstir it. Like I said, you wind up with crumbs. If you don't overstir it and you stir it just enough so that it doesn't, overcook, then you wind up with this nice, it's almost a stuffing like cornbread. And, you can flavor it as you like. You can add spices to it as you make your cornbread, or you can serve it with butter and make it a sweeter type dish.
Oh, gee, Grubby, that sounds like that could come in handy, because I know sometimes I don't want to wake Smokey up to do big cooking, but, that's something I could just do in a pan, and it'd be a nice little side dish to go with the other stuff in the meal.
Well, that's our Meals and Munchies for this week. Scrambled cornbread.
What are you guys doing?
With it.
What is this? I'm waiting for something to jump out of there. Oh no! Grubby!
I'm here with Linda, and she has the schedule from the Indoor Garden Expo 2015.
I sure do, Grubby. We've got a fantastic show lineup for 2015 with all the movie stars down in LA, July 25th and 26th at the Los Angeles Convention Center, and then back here in beautiful Boston, late October.
Thank you again. And if someone wanted more information, they could contact?
They can definitely contact us at 250-729-2677, and someone there at Maximum will make sure that you get all the details, or you can log on to indoorgardenexpo.com, which will have all the details.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We'll see you next time. Hi, and I'm here with Ashley from Root Pouch, and she's going to tell us a little something about fabric pouches.
Yeah, so our fabric pouches are made out of recycled water bottles. And the reason people want to use the fabric is because they create the dense fibrous root structure, which then produces bigger yields.
And what differences do you have in watering in a fabric pouch versus, say, a plastic bucket?
So as you know, when you water a plastic bucket, when you water it, it goes out the 3 or 4 drain holes in the bottom, and that's it. But when you water fabric, it goes to the bottom and then soaks back up through the fabric. So it holds it a lot better, but it is a porous material, so you want to know where you're putting your containers.
Very nice. And what sorts of sizes do you have?
We go from a 1 gallon all the way up through a 600 gallon, with or without handle options, and degradable or non-degradable.
Well, very cool. Thank you for taking time out of your day, Ashley. And once again, that's with Root Pouch. And do you guys have a website?
We do. It's rootpouch.com. We're based out of Portland, Oregon, but we have distributors all over the world. So look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you. That was very nice.
Good evening. This week's reading is from Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. The maids of honor often invited Glumdaclitch to their apartments and desired she would bring me along with her, on purpose to have the pleasure of seeing and touching me. They would often strip me naked from top to toe and lay me at full length in their bosoms, wherewith I was much disgusted, because, to say the truth,
a very offensive smell came from their skins, which I do not mention or intend to the disadvantage of those excellent ladies, for whom I have all manner of respect. But I conceive that my sense was more acute in proportion to my littleness, and that those illustrious persons were no more disagreeable to their lovers or to each other than the people of same quality are with us in England. And, after all, I found their natural smell was much more supportable than when they used perfumes, under which I immediately swooned away. I cannot forget that an intimate friend of mine in Lilliput took the freedom in a warm day, when I had used a good deal of exercise, to complain of a strong smell about me, although I am little faulty that way, as most of my sex. But I suppose his facility of smelling was as nice with regard to me as mine was to that of his people. Upon this point I cannot forbear doing justice to the Queen my mistress, and Glumdaglich my nurse, whose persons were as sweet as any lady in England. That which gave me the most uneasiness among these maids of honor, when my nurse carried me to visit them, was to see them use me without any manner of ceremony, like a creature who had no sort of consequence, for they would strip themselves to the skin and put on their smocks in my presence, while I was placed on their toilet directly before their naked bodies, which I am sure to me was very far from being a tempting sight, or from giving me any other emotions other than those of horror and disgust. Their skins appeared so coarse and uneven, so variously colored, that when I saw them near, with a mole here and there as broad as a trencher, and hairs hanging from it thicker than pack threads, to say nothing further concerning the rest of their persons, neither did they at all scruple, while I was by, to discharge what they had drank, to the quantity of at least 2 hogsheads in a vessel that held above 3 tons. The handsomest among these maids of honor, a pleasant frolicsome girl of 16, would sometimes set me astride upon one of her nipples, with many other tricks, wherein the reader will excuse me for not being over particular.
Well, gee, Alfred, I always thought of Goble's Travels was a children's book, but that didn't sound very appropriate for children. It didn't sound very appropriate for pretty much anybody.
You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
Your garden's looking far out. You must listen to dfzradio.com.
Well, hey there, everybody, and this is your pal, the Wizard, and I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays, it's a twofer. You get a girl in a garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
Hi, and welcome to Non-Specific Hydro.
Yeah, hey, I have a buddy of mine that was telling me about a great additive.
Okay, do you remember the name?
Yeah, his name's Steve. He's a good buddy.
No, the product.
No, he told me it was a super concentrated organic enhancer. Comes in a yellow bottle.
Well, it sounds like he's talking about Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics.
I don't think that was the name, but he also told me it was a vegan bioplant stimulator that contained vitamins, plant sugars, amino acids, seaweed extract.
Yeah, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
I don't think that's it, man. He told me it was something like Dora Vicious Flush or something, and he said it was like an organic supplement that could also be used in vegging or flowering, and it was compatible with hydro, soil, and cocoa.
Yes, that would be General Hydroponics Floralicious Plus.
Oh, hey, man. I just remembered what it's called. It's Floralicious Plus.
Oh, good. I was drawing a blank.
Floralicious Plus from General Hydroponics. Ask for it by name.
DFZRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash, and you're listening to us on DFZRadio.com.
And now it's time for a Buzz of the Circle Table. How there, Grubby Cup. This here is the Irreverend Job, and I have a question. I have a question for you. I need to write a paper for my work, and I am unsure as to how to proceed. You're a writer. Could you offer any helpful tips?
Why, certainly. In fact, I can give you a simple formula to help you along if you get stuck. Now, the formula, the format that I'm going to describe to you isn't the only way to do it. There are many, many different ways to do it. And once you get the basic concept, even if you use the format, you can tweak it so that it suits you and it suits your needs.
All right there, Grubby Cup. I'm a-listening to you hard, but you ain't said nothing yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, Irreverend Job. Let's go ahead and let's sketch out a little paper, and we'll see how that goes.
All right there, Grubby Cup. I got me a piece of paper right here, and I got me a pencil right here, and I'm about to take some notes, and we can write us a little sketch that could be turned into a paper or a letter or any manner of things.
That's right. Now, the first thing we need to do is figure out what we're going to write about.
Well, all righty. I do believe that I would like to write about tomatoes.
All right, then, Irreverend. Why don't you go ahead and write tomatoes down on your paper? And then what I'm going to ask you to do is think of 3 things about tomatoes that you want to say. And each one of these things should be a little on the general side, because you're going to want to be able to say 3 things about each of these things.
Well, all right there, Grubby Cup. Let me think a moment. Let me think. I have it. I have something that you can say about tomatoes. They are red.
But are all tomatoes red?
Well, no, they're Grubby Cup. They are not. They also come in yellow, and they come in a variety of reds and pinks and yellows and a little bit of purples and some browns. There's a veritable rainbow of tomato colors that make the world a better place.
Okay, so how about instead of saying that tomatoes are red, we say that tomatoes come in a variety of colors, and then later on we can mention that red is one of the colors. So for one of our three things, we can put down that tomatoes come in a variety of colors.
All right there, Grubby Cup. All right. I will say that for one of my things that I'm gonna say is that tomatoes come in a variety of colors. I still need two other things to say about tomatoes. I could also say that they come in a variety of shapes and sizes.
That's right. That would be a good second thing to say. And then you just need one more for this part of the exercise.
Well, all right then, Grubby Cup. All right, let me think just a moment. Just a moment. I have it. I have an idea. I would say that for my third thing, that I would say that tomatoes, they come in a determinant, and they come in indeterminate varieties.
All right, then that gives you your three things about tomatoes that you're going to talk about. You've got the colors of tomatoes, you've got the sizes and shapes of tomatoes, and you've got whether they're a determinate or indeterminate variety.
All right there, Grubby Cup. All right there. But now, what do we do? What do we do there, Grubby Cup?
Well, we're going to take your list of three things that you're going to say about tomatoes, and we're going to turn those into a 5-sentence paragraph. Now, the key to the 5-sentence paragraph is as follows. You tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them, you tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them.
I'm sorry to say that, Grubby Cup, but I have not yet seen the light.
Well, for your first sentence, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them. So take a look at the three things on your list and ask yourself, what are reading these three things going to tell the person?
All right there, Grubby Cup. All right. Well, let's see. I've got something on their colors, and I got something on their sizes and shapes, and I got something on whether they're determinate or indeterminate. So looking at those things, I would say that overall I am talking about different varieties of tomatoes and how they are different.
So then take that and put that into a sentence and make that your first sentence of your paragraph.
All right there, Grubby Cup. All right. I guess I could say something like, there are many options available to you when selecting a variety of tomatoes for your garden.
And then you're going to write your next three sentences from your list. So you're going to do a sentence about how tomatoes come in different colors, and you'll do a sentence on how they come in different shapes and sizes. And then you'll do a sentence about how some are determinate and some are indeterminate. And that'll give you your next three sentences. And then for your final sentence, you're going to tell them what you told them. That is, after they've read through the information that you've given them, what is it that you want them to walk away with?
So then I could say something like, there are many more options available in tomatoes than are normally found in a supermarket.
It gives you a start, and then do a little work and polish it up, and you've got your first paragraph done.
All right there, Grubby Cup. All right. but that only gives me one paragraph, and I think that's a little shorter. That's a little shorter than I need it to be.
But you're going to write 4 more paragraphs, and these are going to follow that same format. So you already have a paragraph that explains what you're going to tell them. So you've got your tell them what you're going to tell them. And then you're going to tell them, and then you're going to tell them what you told them. All right, Grubby Cup, you said it before, and it's starting to make a little sense. It's starting to give me a little glimmer. You're going to tell them what you're going to tell them, then 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 you're going to tell them what you told them. That's right. Now that you've got your first paragraph done, your second paragraph is going to be built the same way. The difference is that the focus of your second paragraph is going to be whatever you wrote in your second sentence. So in this example, you're going to talk about the different colors that they come in. And again, in your topic paragraph, you're going to say something about how they come in yellow and green and purple and red, or however you're going to say it. And then you're going to say something about each one of the things that you mentioned in the first sentence, and then you're going to put a sentence to tie it up. And that'll give you your second sentence. Then you're going to do the same thing with sizes and shapes, and then you're going to do the same thing with whether they're determinate or indeterminate. And for your last paragraph, you're going to wrap that up with whatever it is that they're supposed to have learned from going through the paper.
I see, Grubby Cup, I see.
And that gets you what's known as a 5-paragraph essay. And again, the nice thing about this is if you need something longer, you can again take a step back, write a 3 of these 5-paragraph essays. So you did one on tomatoes, so you might do one on carrots, and you might do one on radishes, and then put a 5-sentence paragraph before where you introduce what you're talking about with the vegetables. Then you have a sentence about you're going to talk about the tomatoes and the carrots and the radishes for your 3 sentences in the middle, and tell them what you told them. So then that'll give you a paragraph and 3 essays in a paragraph, and you can just keep building on that until you get chapters, and you get enough chapters together and you've got a book.
I see. So I will remember to tell them what I'm going to tell them, and tell them what I told them.
Well, that sounds like a plan there, Reverend Job.
Why, thank you, Grubby Cup. Why, thank you.
Also brought to you by
Grow With Us Hydroponics. If you're in the Rhode Island, Warwick area and you need some hydroponic supplies, stop on by at Grow With Us Hydroponics. Tell them Grubby sent you. Speaking of the Rhode Island, New England area, if you happen to be in the Rhode Island, New England area, stop off at Grow With Us Hydroponics, Home and Hydro, or 3 Guys Hydroponics, all of which are very fine stores in the Rhode Island area, all of which are carrying Grubby Cup's potting mix. If you are in New York, make sure to stop off at Harvest Moon Hydroponics in Buffalo and in Rochester. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on dfzradio.com.
You're listening to dfzradio.com.
your pal of the Wizard, and I'm here to remind you that the Heavy Tea Grow Show is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Beer 30 Show is on Mondays at 5:30. On Tuesdays, it's a twofer. You get a Girl in the Garden at 5 p.m. and Grow with Grubby Cup Show at 6. Make sure to tune in to DFZ Radio for all your bizarre, weird, and odd programming.
Botanicare is proud to introduce a revolutionary three-part nutrient system that is the culmination of over 15 years of research and development. The Kind Plant Nutrient System. Designed by leading plant physiologists, this is the most versatile, effective, yet easy-to-use plant nutrient system ever created. It all starts with Kind Base. Kind Base contains nitrogen and calcium, but no trace minerals, magnesium, or sulfur. By placing those nutrients in the Grow and Bloom formulas, you have greater control over how your plants grow in your medium of choice. Using coco coir or RO water, just add more base to increase calcium levels. Growing in clay pebbles or rock wool, then just reduce the amount of base to ensure the proper calcium level. It's that easy. Kind Grow contains trace minerals and a proprietary blend of all natural ingredients to help maximize root growth, reduce internodal spacing, and create a lush canopy. Kind Bloom was formulated with the optimum phosphorus to potassium ratio. Your plants will have healthy branch and stalk development, accelerated flower set, and increased yields. Kind Bloom also contains magnesium to help improve photosynthetic efficiency, which is critical in accelerated growth environments. To put it more simply, Botanicare's Kind Nutrient System is the only nutrient system that is fully customizable to your kind of plants and medium. Botanicare Kind Base, Grow, and Bloom. Fully customizable. Any plant, any medium. For more information, go to botanicare.com. Botanicare Kind. Make it your kind.
We're listening to DFZ Radio.
DFZRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I'm your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You're listening to us on DFZ Radio at DFZRadio.com.
And now, the Grubby Cup, I would like to propose a toast to you. May there be additions to your funds, subtraction to your wants, multiplication of your blessings, division among your foes, and a reduction of your debts and taxes.
Well, gee, Herb, that's a very nice toast. Thank you.
Well, it's a very nice magical potion, so it all works out. Hey, Alfred, how come when you were little, your mom tried to wash your mouth out with soap? Did you used to swear a lot when you were a kid?
No. Because she was hoping it would make me a soprano.
Well, gee wizard, that didn't work.
She really was an old bat. Vampire bat, to be precise. I got the neighbor child a set of drums to play during the day. Vampires hate that sort of thing, you know.
Oh, gee whiz, Alfred, I know that there's some good magical potion. I know that there's some people out there and they have issues, but you got whole subscriptions there, man.
Yes, my whole family is rather eccentric. My sister Ophelia has gotten so thin she has to enter a room twice before folks start to believe she's there.
Herb the Wizard, I'm here to give you a ticket. Oh, gee, yourself, what are you giving me a ticket for? I'm getting you a ticket because Smokey has fleas. Well, geez, if Smokey doesn't have any fleas, he sleeps with me. Well, that explains where he got them from. Well, hey, Alfred, I heard that Madame Pompadour got a new bearskin rug. No, she just dyed it red. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to their 70th episode of the Grow with Grubby Cup show. I have to admit, when I started, I didn't think it would last this long, and who knows how much longer it's going to last. But meanwhile, while it is lasting, I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you that tune in. If it wasn't for your support, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do this. So I want to thank you very much. I want to thank the folks over at dfznetwork.com. And I want to thank, anybody that's out there doing good stuff for good folks. I think the whole forces of niceness need all the help they can get. So anytime you can contribute a little charity and put a little bit of nice vibes out there into the world, I think that that's a good thing. I think that we have enough agents of meanness out there spreading the other side. So until next week, I've been your host, Grubby Cup Stash. You've been listening to the Grow with Grubby Cup show on DFZ Radio Network at dfzradio.com or possibly YouTube. Until next week, peace, love, and puka shells.
We got some seeds to throw, he'll keep you in the know. Variety to claim, so baby, what's his name? He's the man to know. He'll make your garden grow. Grubby Cup's his name. He's the man who'll make a change.
Well, gee whiz, you listen to the whole song, and you listen to the whole show, and you listen to everything, or, you just got a little too out of it and just haven't got around to turning it off yet, and, that's okay, too, because, we still kind of get credit for it. It's nice, because the top police really haven't got to a point yet where, we actually have to make sure somebody's paying attention to it. They just kind of track whether or not somebody, clicked on the thing and played the show, or, what they did and all that, and people do all the overseeing and watching and snooping and that, and then, it's scary out there. It's really scary. It's like 1984, but worse. For those of you that aren't familiar with 1984, it's the blueprint of pretty much what's going on today. It might be worth checking out, because at least once upon a time, it was thought that maybe not all of this stuff would be good to do. But anyway, this is your boy Herb the Wizard, and I'm needing me some more magical potions so I can deal with all this stuff. So, until next week, bye-bye!
Your garden's looking far out. You must listen to dfzradio.com.
enjoy.